Good morning YouTube. So I thought today we would do the 3-year review on my Triumph Thruxton R. It's just about 3 years now since I brought it, and I thought we could do a review. It hasn't done loads of miles. I'm sort of quite choosy when I use it. It's a nice shiny bike, and it's not a bike I want to use in the winter. I have been out on it in the salt, but yeah, you know, I did wash it off straight away, and with the bare aluminium cases, it's not a bike you want to really ride in the winter, or you will be cleaning it all the time. I mean, you can spray, you know, some sort of protection over it, ACF 50 or something like that, which will protect it. It does make it look a bit messy, but I don't need to use it in the winter, so I don't. I've sort of done just under 3,000 miles on it, so I haven't done a lot, but I've had it 3 years. Haven't had any problems with it. Well, you wouldn't expect to with 3,000 miles. It's been a really nice bike, really pleased with it. It's just got that real classic look of an old British calf racer with the reliability of a modern bike, and obviously the performance of a more modern bike, obviously not to the same sort of degree as a Japanese super bike, but it's still it's a nice bike. It rides well. It's a good fun bike to ride. I also did the decat mod just before the winter, which I don't really know whether it makes a lot of difference to the performance, but it gives it a deeper sound. But it is a really nice bike. I love it. I love the look of it. I think it's fantastic the way it looks. I mean, some people like the nose fairing, some don't. I thought it looked good. Just gives it that real look of the sort of classic era that it's meant to be honouring, I suppose. But yeah, it's had, what's it had? It's had two proper services and the running in service. Never been any issues there really. I'd say it's been fine. I know some people have had issues with the clocks misting up, because I don't use it in the winter. I've never really had that issue. I've used it in the rain, never had an issue with the clocks misting up. Perhaps with the fairing, I don't know, it stops the water getting in. I mean, some of it's condensation, so you're not going to stop that, but yeah. Look at that sound though. So are there any dislikes about the bike? Probably not really. Can't think of anything. I've not really, you know, for what it is. I bought this bike for what it is. I'm not expecting, I don't know, you know, I'm not expecting masses of performance. It's a, you know, it's a 1200 parallel twin. You know, it's a gutsy bike, but it is what it is. And you know, if you want that sort of retro look, I don't think you can beat it. It's comfortable. done a few long runs on it and it's always been comfortable. Reasonably good on petrol. Really pleased with those new exhausts though, they really sound nice. It's got loads of torque, I mean it really does pull really well. I haven't actually got it in sports mode either. Let's stick it in. That livens it up a bit, I'll tell you. But it really handles so well. For a bike, you don't expect a bike that looks like this to handle so well. On the old early 900 Thruxton I had years ago, the old carburetted version, it was, they sort of just about captured the look of an old bike, but it was nowhere near as good as this. Oh! She certainly goes. So I put quite a few extras on it. We'll pull over in a minute and have a quick look at that. I've actually got a couple of bits coming that aren't on the bike at the moment. I've just ordered one of the ribbed comfort seats. I think they look nicer, the seats on it. This one is comfortable, but I just like the look of the other one. And I want to do a few longer rides on this, and yeah, this is a comfortable seat, but I thought, well, I'll just go for the extra comfort. Yeah, it's definitely got a lovely burble to it. It's funny because the Scrambler 1200 has got the same sort of high power engine as this, but the mapping's totally different. I've just run my Scrambler in now, it's being serviced very shortly, so once I've got another couple of 100 miles on it I better open it up, but there's no way, there's a big difference between the power of this and the Scrambler, definitely. So here we are. So as we can see, straight through Vance and Hines pipes. What else have we got? Obviously got tail tidy, which was part of the racer kit that was came with the bike. Got the little alley cable holder. I did polish these up the other day, but I've actually got the ribbed ones coming as well when the seat comes. What else have we got? Speed, the new Speed twin mirrors, and I think these are sprint mirrors as well. I did get the really small alloy anodized ones for this bike, but they were too small, so when you was riding your knuckles were hitting the mirrors. They look nice, and to be honest, you couldn't see hardly anything out of them, so bit of a waste of money. What else have we got? Obviously got the LED indicators, that comes with the race pack. Clutch covers ribbed. Got the little cover there that's ribbed. Look at this. We have the Captain Rambunctious keyring. Marvellous. Got the rubber pads. Fork protector. And the Motone radiator cover with the Union Jack sign. Quite like that. I was watching one of Stuart Finningham's reviews, and he had that, so yeah, that's nice. Red Baron 1 YouTube channel sticker. Bash plate underneath. So yes, there you have it. The wonderful Thruxton R. And I really think this is a great bike. I do love this bike, I really do. I very rarely keep a bike for more than a year or two, but this, I'll say I've had 3 years, which is, I don't think I've ever had a modern bike for 3 years. I suppose it helps not riding it all the time, because then sometimes I just get bored, but yeah, this is just such a great bike. As I say, for the way it looks to the way it handles, it does handle really well for a bike that's really just the sort of retro classic. And it's just got such a lovely sound. And they've actually stopped doing the red now. They do it in a nice metallic British Racing green, which I must say, if I'd have been buying one now, I think I'd have gone for the British Racing green. At the time when this was out, you could get it in, I think the R came in red, a sort of satin black, and the silvery colour, and I wasn't that keen on the silver. It was quite nice grey silver, but I like the red, and the black was okay as well. But they did, the standard Thruxton came in white, and I did ask, I said, why can't I have one in white? But they said no, the Triumph won't do it, and now Triumph have done it. And white looked quite nice at the time, but I'm not sure now whether I really like the white as much now. But the green looks really good. I mean, at one point I thought about getting this resprayed in a sort of racing metallic green, but I do like the red, and the fact they're not doing red ones anymore, it's nice to keep it as it is, really. But this has just got so much grunt, it really has. It's definitely quicker, more grunty than the 1200 Scrambler. And really on the scrambler with the wider bars you'd notice it more, but this is just so much better. It's a real good fun bike to ride. So it always makes me laugh when I ride this. You almost feel like it shouldn't be as quick as this for what it is, but it really is. And also the riding position on this is perfect. You can, contrary to popular belief, you can keep the standard risers on the bars when you put this Cafe Safarian on. The dealers, when I bought this, the dealer said you couldn't, and I rode it with the low risers and it killed my wrist, and I just thought, sod it, I'm going to try it, and I just whipped the top yoke off and put the standard risers on, and it doesn't hit the fairing. It's fine. There's absolutely nothing at all to worry about there. Would I buy a Thruxton R? Well, I have, but yes, I definitely would. You know, I'd definitely buy one again. If I didn't have this for whatever reason, you know, this, I just think it is a great bike. I mean, I'm lucky I've got a few different bikes, but I suppose if I had to have just two bikes out of the bikes I've got, I'd probably have this and the water-cooled 1200 GS that I've got. But the sound of this, I say, with these new pipes on, I just love it. It really sounds deep now. It's got a really deep sound. I just hope I don't get pulled up by the local constabulary. That slogan, loud pipes save lives. Lovely crackle as well when you come off the throttle now. I think some people have had issues with these, with the when you close the throttle off, suddenly stalls, and they did remap this on the, I think it was the first service, and I remember a couple of times it actually starting was more of an issue than stalling, but at the last service they remapped it again and it's been spot on. I didn't put the decat on until the warranty had run out. I think they're okay with it, but I just thought, you know, it's best to do things like that once the warranty's gone. I mean, the other thing is the issue of some people have complained about the cases aren't lacquered. Well, for me, I think that's better, because if you go back to the days of the sort of Jap bikes back in the 80s, when they started, they'd lacquer the cases, and you get a few stone chips and a bit of water ingress under the lacquer, and before you know it, you got loads of spiders webs running up the cases, and then you've literally got to take all the lacquer off, and it's the same with wheels as well. Whereas I was really pleased when I got this and realised they hadn't lacquered the cases. I thought brilliant, because you know you can. I had a problem with this a few weeks ago. I used some muck off to clean it after I'd been out in the salt, and the salt hadn't damaged the cases at all. But when I sprayed the muck off on the cases, there was loads of smears on the alley, and I had to really polish them out, which wasn't a problem, but it was really good that they. I mean, obviously, if they were lacquered, it wouldn't have happened, but I was quite happy with that, because that way, if you get any corrosion or marks, you can polish it out. No, it's funny. I've only ridden this twice this year, and it just makes you feel so good riding this. Oh, just such a lovely bike. It's just such an easy bike to ride. I mean, they are fairly expensive, but you know, if you buy one and look after it, it's going to last you a long time. I think one of the big things as well is exhaust note. You know, having a good exhaust note, I don't know why, but it makes a difference with a bike. A year or so ago, you could buy the US Vance and Hines off the Triumph's Parts website. You can't anymore. And it's the same for the Bonneville, because on the T120 I stuck a set on there where the baffles are just held in with a circlip, and I put them on, and that sounded lovely. But you can't get them. I mean, with the Bonnevilles, they got quite a few different sets that you can get. I think the Toga pipes, which look nice and sound really nice. There's loads of different pipes you can get, and I think you can for the Thruxton now. But I say I do like I like a lot of the factory fit extras. They look nice. I don't mind a lot of the aftermarket stuff, but I don't know, I've always been, I prefer the factory fit stuff really. Having said that, the Motone radiator guard looks lovely. It's really well made. Motone stuff's really good. They do a nice job. Look at that, Granada, the Sweeney, shut it. GS Riders, let's see if they nod. Yeah, he did, acknowledge, because that's a big thing that really bugs me now. People have mentioned that GS Riders don't acknowledge you. And riding a GS, I always acknowledge other bikes, but yeah, there's quite a few that don't. These new mirrors are brilliant. They're really good. Really pleased with those. Just got enough room. There's not a lot of room between the glove and the mirror, but on the tiny anodised ones, if you have gloves with sort of knuckle protectors on, you're scraping them every time. And actually, I think they were a bit too small, but these are perfect. They're smaller than the standard round one, but big enough so you can use them as a mirror properly. So all in all, 3 years ownership. Yes, not loads of miles, but I've enjoyed this bike, and I will carry on enjoying this bike. So I suppose we should wrap this up now. So thanks for watching, subscribing, and think next we'll be doing a review on the new Speed Twin in the next week. I managed to get one on loan while the Scrambler's having its first service, so I'll be doing that next week. And yeah, so until then, thanks for watching, and see you again soon.